Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Luminess Live. I am Dorothy Strohall, and I am here to, work with you guys and do a demo. So, welcome to Luminess Live. We are going to talk today about creating your perfect coverage. Here's the thing, we talk a lot about our foundations and airbrushing giving you the coverage that you want. And so, how do you get that coverage? How do you get full coverage, light to medium coverage? We talk about our foundations being light to full coverage, but really, realistically, how do you get that? So, if you are new to Luminous, welcome. If you just got in on our deals for Thanksgiving Black Friday sale, if you just maybe got your Luminous Breeze for Christmas, you are in the right place. We are going to do some tutorials and some demos. And just remember, let me pull up here so you can get a little closer. Just remember that I host Luminous Live. We have a Facebook group that is there for you, that I answer questions there. Also, you have beauty experts at your fingertips, people to train you on the phone. So you want to take advantage of that. Go do the beauty expert thing. And remember, Heather has her classes at noon. So I'm going to do the demo. She's here every day at 10:30 on the Luminous page to do demos that are live. Today, I get to come hang out with you and do a demo. But she also has group classes. If you haven't done her group class and you are new to airbrushing, you need to do it. It is free to you. It is informative. She can color match you. She can help you get coverage, everything. Sign up for that class. It is in the link of this description. You really do want to take it. She's so much fun. Okay. Today, we are talking about getting your perfect coverage. Now, I know that is a big thing to say. Hey, Lori, good to see you. Hey, Audrey, good to see you. That is a big promise. I can give you your perfect coverage, but can you give you your perfect coverage, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today is how you can be your own professional airbrush makeup artist and get your perfect coverage because we do promise full coverage in 6 drops and I am going to show you how that is. So the first thing I want to talk about is let's define full coverage. I mean, because what you might consider full coverage, I might not consider full coverage. And what I might consider full coverage, you might not consider full coverage. So let's just define that. So in traditional makeup, full coverage means like a mask. Everything is erased and covered. Your skin, your freckles, good morning, Cindy, your dark circle, everything. In airbrush foundation, full coverage means only the spots you want covered is covered. So when I go full coverage with traditional foundation, I'm covering everything. It's like a putting a mask on. Have you ever seen the videos to where they look like yellowed out or paled out, and then you see their neck and everything, and you're like, "Ooh, she all masky looking." Good morning, Amber. Good to see you from Philadelphia. But that's kind of cray cray. So we're going to talk about airbrushing full coverage and how you get that. Okay. So when you're doing full coverage, less is more. And I know that sounds very, very crazy. As we get older, less is more. So the less makeup we use, the more we get the look we want. And the more skincare we use, the less makeup we have to use. So our first thing to do is prep your skin. You've got to wash your skin. You've got to exfoliate it. If you've got dry patches, exfoliate it. Moisturize. Good morning, Andrea. You got to moisturize your skin. You've got to do skin prep. Your airbrush makeup will only look as good or you will only get the most. Let me put it this way. You will only get the most out of your makeup as you do the most with your skincare. I'm just going to tell you, when we're younger, we can pack on the makeup and, our skin can handle it. But when we get a little older, we need to up the skincare more and up the skincare prep more and then do our makeup. So for me, my skincare prep, I've already washed. If you were over on Luminous Live, I used our contour machine this morning. I moisturized. I used all that. But for me, my skincare prep is going to be a primer, the moisturizing primer. because my skin is just really dry. I need that little bit of extra moisture. I need that little bit of extra. If you live up north, you might also need a little bit of extra moisture in this cold winter. I know we're getting towards the end of it. So make sure you do your skin care prep. And so that's really important. You can go in and just airbrush, but that prep is going to give you the look that you really truly want and get the most. Okay. So the next thing is if you are new to airbrushing, I really want you to do this trick. I really, really want you to do the next step. It's pretty important. Okay. When airbrushing, you've got to understand what it looks like. Let me see if I can't make that hop on. I want you to do the tissue practice. If you haven't done this and Heather has showed it to you, you need to do it because the big thing about understanding your coverage and either getting the little bit of coverage you need or the full coverage you need is going to be training your trigger finger. I know that sounds crazy, but seriously, we don't want full coverage everywhere. We only want full coverage where we need it because when you show your skin, it looks natural and you look younger. So, skincare is important, skin prep is important, but I really want you to train your trigger finger. So, if you don't know what this is, I'm going to go ahead and put just a couple of drops in here to demonstrate it. It's going to be real quick. The tissue practice is where you grab a tissue, you do your forefinger away, and you practice how far back you use your trigger finger and you're always moving. You see how light that is? That is how we build full coverage, okay? If you come in and you go, I'm covering it, wrong. That is not how we want to do it, okay? That's not what we want it to look like. We want it to be very light and full coverage because we still want lighter coverage where we need it and more coverage where we have it. So you need to train your trigger finger. It is super, super important. So training your trigger finger will help you get the coverage where you need it. We don't want coverage where we don't need it. Okay. We want, maybe let's just say my coverage needs to be full coverage here, medium coverage here, and light coverage here. How in the world do I do that? Okay, so assess your skin, take a look at your skin and see where do I need those covers. Next, I'm going to prime. Now, this is an option. This is what I did with the primer right here. Prime is if you need extra moisturizer, if you need extra coverage, if you need it to last a little longer, maybe you have very oily skin, you want that little bit of extra, we're going to prime. And that is going to really help us in doing that. So we'll just pretend I just did it because I did and I put it on at the wrong spot, but that's okay. You know what it is. The other thing you can do in this priming is, you know, that powder trick that she taught where you powder first and then airbrush. That is where you'll do this. If you wanted to do that velvety look and use that powder, you can do it. And so that is before we ever airbrush, we're going to skincare prep, we're going to practice with a tissue, and we're going to prime. Our next one is make sure you're doing the basics. Forefinger whisk away, always moving and barely pulling the trigger. Okay. That's our next one. Everybody's got that, right? I mean, y'all are new here or not new here. You're veterans, and I know that. But if you have someone that is a friend of yours that is new to Luminous, share this to your page because this is going to help them get the coverage, whether it be light to full coverage with the same product that they got in their kit. How do we help with big pores? Okay, larger pores. Two things with larger pores. That is going to come with your skincare. There are products that we have in our skincare line that help smooth out your skin and shrink your pores up. So that is skincare. Secondly, that is also going to be in your prime. And so you can use a primer, either the moisturizing primer or I think porcelain might do that also. And the powder. I did notice that the powder, before you airbrush, not after, with the powder before you airbrush will help cover that up just a bit. So that's a great question. Thank you for asking. But that is all in your prepping for coverage. That's not a coverage question. That is a skin question. And so we're going to do that with our skincare and we'll do that with our primer. So great question. So in your kit, you got two colors. And I want you to notice one is a little darker and one is a little lighter. And people come in and they go, those don't match. You're right. Because this is full pigment. This isn't skin. And skin has blood that runs underneath it. And guess what? We don't want a mask. We just want to cover what needs to be covered and let our skin look as beautiful as it can look. And so that's what we do with that. So we're not worrying about what the bottles look like. We're training our fingers, we're training our look, and then we're going, where do I need coverage and where do I not need coverage? Okay. So you tried the powder and it brought them out. So then that is not the technique that works from you. So try the primer, the moisturizing primer and the skincare. You'll probably have to do a little bit of an aggressive skincare. I will tell you that we have the microderm abrasion or the microneedling. This will help shrink your pores up if you use it with the vitamin C or retinol. But that's a different tutorial. Okay, so here we go. I've got my two foundations. Now, I want full coverage here, medium coverage here, and maybe lighter all around. So here's how I get it. And now I'm going to go ahead and airbrush pre-coverage. Pre-coverage is not my foundation, guys. Did you hear me? I'm going to use my foundation, but it's not my foundation. So where I want more coverage is where I want to give that little bit of extra. So you can either use your lightest color, or this is where you'll use the correctors like eraser, X out the concealers, all of that. This is when you'll use that for pre-coverage. So this is not foundation. This is just the little extra that will help out. And so I am going to use my foundation because let's just say I got the kit and I'm like, I ain't buying none of that pre-coverage till I figure out if I like this. So I'm going to take my lighter color and I'm just going to put a couple of drops in here. 1, 2, 3. And I know I am going to want more coverage under these bags, baby, under these bags. And I'm going to want a little bit here. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little bit. Let me get my mirror right here. And now, when you go under the eyes, you can come in closer. That's not 4 finger widths away, y'all. That's pretty close. But I don't want my spray spraying out all the way into my eye. So when I want a tighter spray, I'm going to bring it in a little closer. But when you bring it in a little closer, guys, you've got to go lighter on the trigger. That's why trigger training is so important. Okay. So for pre-coverage under my eyes, I am going to go closer and lighter with the trigger finger. Okay. So here we go. You're going to go right up underneath here under my eye with my lighter color. Ooh, y'all see that? It's a little hot spot. So guess what? I'm going to pat that up and under, and that's okay. Especially because it is under my eye. That lets me get it all the way up under to my lash line. Look at that coverage. Isn't that crazy? I did like a little baby spurt. Look how crazy that is. Okay, let's do the other one. Y'all can tell I am severely right-handed. Okay, let me pat that out because that's a hot spot right there. But this is my pre-coverage that I'm doing in the areas that I need it. And that is very specific under the eyes. That's, y'all know, that is really, really a tight spot to get your coverage. But that's where I know I need my coverage the most. And so I'm going to hit it with a little bit of pre-coverage there. So I'm going to hit where I'm going to want medium coverage, just a little bit with my pre-coverage, which for me is in the T-zone. Just so if y'all don't know, all of our breezes are on an auto. run. And so if you are using the breeze, it will automatically turn off after a certain amount of time. It did not break. It is just on an auto timer to help make sure that you don't leave your breeze running all the time if you forget to turn it off. I mean, kind of brilliant if you wanna know the truth, because your girl here might do that. Your girl might leave it going. Okay, that is pre-coverage, and all that did was give me the little bit of extra coverage. Let me turn this light up just a little bit of extra coverage where I know I'm gonna want fuller coverage. That is under my eyes, that is in this area, that is on the top part. For me, that's where I'm gonna want the most coverage. The rest of it, I don't feel like I need a lot more coverage because I wanna see my skin. Less is more. Less products in the areas for my face is better. And so where I need the products, I'm definitely gonna use them. Okay, so we did pre-coverage. That was pre-coverage. And now I'm gonna do foundations. Andrea, how do I get my system from stuttering when I am applying my foundation? Okay, two things. One, make sure that your system is fully charged. Two, make sure that you do a deep clean on it. Back bubble. Back bubble with warm water. Let it sit with warm water for a little while. Back bubble, if you have Tip Top Cleaner, run that through it a couple of times. Back bubbling is your friend. And then blow it out and blow it through fully. That should help take care of any and all of the sputtering between charging and back bubbling and a deep cleaning. Also check the little cap. If you need to, Andrea, you can come over to Luminess Live and we'll go through and go into a private chat room. We'll go through a full cleaning and see what we can do to make sure that your system is clean. So these two, I like mine a little bit mixed. I'm a mixer. So I'm not just gonna use one color for me because this is two, and you can't gauge it in the bottle. So I think those together will be perfect. And I've practiced enough and I'm a perfect color. So I am gonna take, this is where we go, pre to full coverage. 3. People are like, can you really do it with 6 drops? You really can because you're not doing it everywhere. You're going to put the coverage where you need the coverage. 1, 2, 3. Okay. When I put those in there, I am going to back bubble, mix. Okay. Now here is where, hold on before I even start it. Here is where I am going to start my coverage going. Now is the coverage for foundation. Here's how I describe it. I love the way Heather describes it, but I have a little bit different way of describing it. We are going to make a trip around the world. My world is really in my head. Your world is in your head. That is your world. So we are going to make a couple of trips around the world to get the coverage that we want and in the areas that we want. So I'm going to make one coverage around the world because all I need around here is light coverage. And that is customizing my coverage for what I might need. And that is how you get that customized natural look. Laura, you only use 3 to 5 drops. Kudos, girl. There you go. Less is more. So if your trigger finger is trained, you will be able to get the coverage where you need it. Okay, that was one trip around the world, right? I'm on my second trip around the world. Now, on our trips around the world, I'm not done. I still have foundation in my well. While I'm training to find out my perfect coverage, I'm going to stop for just a second. I'm going to take a look in the mirror and I'm going to go, okay, I like the way it looks here. I like the way it looks here. I think I want a little bit more right here and a little bit more right here. And I think that's going to be all. My eye bags look fairly covered. I think that's all I want. So that is where you're going to come in and you're going to specifically give more coverage where you want it. I've made a trip around the world. That means I've done one pass all the way around. And now I'm going to go in and build coverage where I need it. I'm not going to put it where I don't want it. Now I'm going to just build it where I need it, which is going to be for me in my little T-zone area on my nose. My little red spots. Just a little bit more here. Let me see. I got a little age spot right there. Just a little bit of coverage there. A little bit of coverage there. If you'll notice, I didn't hit everywhere. I did one trip around the world. I did a little bit more under my eyes. Let me see. And I still have some left in the well. And you know what? That's okay. I've got the coverage I want. And so I am just going to blow the rest of that out. Look, I ended up blowing more out. See, I didn't need the full amount that I thought I was going to want or need because I got the coverage I want. Here's the thing. Know when to stop. Know when to stop. It's okay. You don't use every bit of it. You only want to use what you need to use. That is why we can say this foundation is from the light to full coverage because you're going to use light coverage where you need it, medium coverage where you need it, and full coverage where you need it. And so that is how you create your perfect foundation coverage look. You assess your skin, take care of your skin, do your skincare prep. You train your trigger finger using the tissue. You make sure you've got your forefinger whisked away. You're always moving. You barely pull the trigger. And if you're going in under the eyes for full coverage, you can come a little closer. And don't be afraid to pat it out. Y'all saw me pat it out. It makes it to where I can put it where I need it. Do your pre-coverage. The pre-coverage is important when you have age spots or when you have dark circles. And then go around the world with your foundation, building it where you need it, and then know where to stop. Now, the last thing in this. Now, this is just foundation, guys. I don't have anything else on, no lips. I do have my eyes on, so I did put mascara on. But this is where you'll come in and now you'll do your bronzer. Now you'll add your blush. Now you'll add your lips. All of those finishing touches to make it look exactly how you want it. But do not forget to clean it. So, Andrea, I'm going to talk about cleaning right now. If you are having sputtering issues, the needle that is in here, the pigmentation from the foundation can kind of catch on it because it is just full pigmentation. And so it can catch on it. Even when you clean it, it can do it. It's just a part of airbrushing. It's not anything new in the industry. It doesn't have anything to do specifically with our product or anything of that nature. It's just airbrushing. And so that's one of the problem solving tips and techniques you got to do. So I'm putting water in the dropper. Do not, guys, do not put this underneath the water faucet. And I say that because this is electrical and your makeup only goes in here, through here, and out here. It doesn't go down here. And if you get the battery wet, you have just ruined your airbrush system. And that's on you, boo. So don't do it. So water in here comes in through here. This is the only space that makeup and air comes through. And so I am going to put water in there with a dropper. And I'm going to spray it out full force. I'm going to use the full force of it. Full force, get all of it out, all of it out, all of it out. Now, if I am going to do a deeper clean, I'm going to go ahead and put warm water in. I don't have that in right now, but a deeper clean is with warm water. But make sure you back bubble, 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 pull out. Bubble, bubble, bubble. And soaking it with the warm water it will break down because it's a water-based foundation. It will break down the pigmentation in there and push it out. And if you don't clean your machine, you can't ask your machine to be at the best of its capability because it's a machine, right? And it is only as good as the maintenance that's on it or what. Your new breeze is just one level. Yes. So the thing is it probably is just one level, and that's okay. You can do everything you need to do with one level. They changed and updated the casing on the machines, Lori, and so they have the lights on them, and they can look like the Breeze Dual and the Breeze One level both look the same. It's just one level for the duo, or one light and one level will happen with the breeze, and the duo will go to. The way you can confirm which one you got, Lori, will be on the bottom of your machine. When you get it in on the bottom of your machine, it will state whether it is a dual speed or single speed. If it is a single speed, it is a breeze, one level. If it is a dual speed, then it is a duo. But they both look identical because they have used and upgraded the casing for both so that you can use the skincare head with it. So we learned that too. So when you are making your passes, just make sure you make your trips around the world just where you need them. Make sure you put your coverage just where you need it, and let less be more. You will get more out of your coverage, out of your skincare, out of your foundation look if you do more skincare prep, if you do more skincare, and you will need less product. And the less product you use, the more youthful you will look and the more longevity you will have. Okay, that's it. That is how you create your custom, your perfect skincare look. Remember, if you have any questions whatsoever or you need any help, please, 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 please come over to Luminous Live and ask your questions. I am there all day to help you problem solve, to help you really get into the fullness of what you need. Also, remember that we have beauty experts on the phone to help you. You can give them a call. Guys, I'm sneaking it out. This is their direct line, and they're gonna kill me if I'm giving you their direct line. So if you need anything and need any help, you can give them a call on this line, ask your questions. They'll be happy and kind and walk you through. And again, don't forget to sign up for Heather's class. It's invaluable. It's so much fun. You'll be glad you did. So in the meantime, I will see you next time.